taking care of all that. And here we see that lineup: Haley Batten, Kate Courtney, Gwendolyn Gibson, Emily Batty, Sandra Walter, Kelsey Urban, Hannah Otto, winner of the 2022 Leadville 100, Maddie Monroe, who had a great ride at Collegiate Nationals this year, Jennifer Jackson, Haley Smith, Sophia Wade, Emily Williams also in there. And just a few reminders about what these riders are in for on this course. We've got a brand new XCO course compared to years past. This was built by the Vailocity crew and Eric Carter. A lot of hours have been put into making this layout you see here today, and it's more in line with the World Cup cross-country specs. Now, the new course is 3.9 kilometers long and about 150 meters of climb. That's about 480 feet of climbing per lap. And some of the notable features on this UCI course include the Kenda Power Climb, and that's going to be out of the Coliseum. That takes them on the final third of their lap. And that was a pretty long, steady climb up that ridge. It takes you out to the west end of the course. And then to get to the top of that, it's a long, sweeping downhill back into the Coliseum where they come onto the main straight and cross the finish line. We also have our Orange Seal Speed and Style dual line in the Coliseum. And that's really going to separate those who are comfortable jumping the features on the A-line, which is the fastest, by the way, versus those who tend to play it a little more conservative and be a little less risky on the B-line. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out over the course of the race and see if it's a factor in the outcome. This course is 80% single track, so I'll tell you what, position going to be key. The main places to pass are all along the main straight, up and over Mount Carter, and up through that feed zone. Other than that, there's not a lot of great places to pass. So this race is going to be absolutely important. Again, it's going to be 5 laps for our U23 women, 6 laps for our elite women. So looking at the front row, you're seeing front and center that Haley Batten, Kate Courtney, and Gwendolyn Gibson. Kate Courtney riding for the Scott SRAM mountain bike team. Haley Batten for Specialized. Gwendolyn Gibson for Trek, 3 of the big bike manufacturers. Front and center on the line. Kate Courtney, the most decorated rider here. She is your number 2 qualifier up on the front row. We expect to see big things out of her. She finished top 5, but didn't make it into the top 3 on our short track on Friday, and she is looking for some revenge. She wants some results. We expect to see some big motivation out of her, so keep an eye on her. That's her in the number 2 plate. She's got the Red Bull helmet in the black and white SRAM kit. Rider number 1, Haley Batten for Specialized Factory Racing. Right next to her, her bike is the bike with the red fork on it, the number 1 plate, white helmet. Rider number 5 right there, that's Sandra Walter riding for Live Canada, the off-road team. That is the Giant Squad. Also in there, riding for Pivot Cycles, DT Swiss, Hannah Otto. She was your 2022 Leadville 100 winner this year. And we are just moments away from going. Race time is 1:59, so we are 1 minute to start. And we are off and running. They are over. Carter Summit coming in, your #1 rider for the Specialized team. Off the front, looking strong. Kate Courtney, your #2 rider, coming around the outside. And I believe that was Gwendolyn Gibson on the inside. We got some of our Bear National Team riders making their way around at the front. We've seen them in control of the races all day. Can they do it in this elite women's category? Time will tell as they make their way up through the feed zone. Now, our U23 women are on the line, and here we go. We are off and running with the U23 race. Here come our U23 athletes. Number 25, taking a big flyer off the front. Bear National Team in control at the front. Team Specialized Trinity there on third wheel. I believe that's Lauren Hagler from Durango, Colorado. Bringing up third wheel there right in the middle of a bunch of Bear National riders as our U23 athletes make their way up through the feed zone. And a big pile up right there. Not a crash, just a big traffic backup in that first big tight single track turn. We saw that in our earlier race with our U23 men getting caught up there. But out and off the front, it looks like so tracking on MTB.com, both of our races, watching our elite women snake their way up the technical climb there at the beginning. Our U23 women making their way onto their first patch of single track, watching them carefully here. This is the corner there that your elite women had a little bit of trouble with, and it looks like that field making their way through. Of course, that field's significantly smaller than what we saw earlier today and in our women's category. But on the elite women's side, 2 riders starting to run away with it here, putting about 6 or 8 bike lengths between them. Eyes peeled up the hill to see if we can see when they're coming down in real time. So again, we got 2 riders off the front in the elite women's category. In our U23 women's category, Bear National Team at the front, controlling the pace on a big, long train that encompasses about 95% of the entire U23 women's field. They're at the top of their first little short climb. They're going to have a quick little descent down. So I'm not quite sure here. I'm doing the best I can based on the information I can glean from all of our live feeds. But Kate Courtney is definitely second wheel. We know that. And rider number 8 is off the front. I believe that's Maddie Monroe from the Trek Factory Racing Team. That looks like a Trek jersey. However, I'm not 100% certain that that is the rider that is off the front. All I know is that Kate Courtney and one other rider, likely Maddie Monroe, are off the front right now in our elite women's race on lap number 1. There go your leaders dropping back into the Coliseum. And the rest of the elite women's field is coming through, up and over. The hill they go. Kind of bunching up a little bit. Riders looking to make some passes as they go up and over. Okay, so a correction. As we can see, Gwendolyn Gibson from Trek Factory Racing is actually in the lead, not Maddie Monroe. So Gwen Gibson and Kate Courtney off the front, wheel to wheel right now, working their way up the hill. Not far behind them, about 10 seconds back. That is the rest of the field. Meanwhile, over on the U23 side, it is all Bear National up front. We got one rider in green and white with a black helmet there, second wheel in our U23 race. Can't quite see who that is. But it is Bear National team, then that unknown rider in the green and white jersey with the black shorts and the black helmet. And then Bear National, Bear National. For U23, number 25? Okay. All right, so leading our U23 field, it looks like rider number 25, Bailey Siopa from the Bear National team. Not sure who's on her tail. Look at this, moves being made right now. This is not much different than what we saw in our U23 men's race with the Bear National team in absolute control. Look at that. As we can see, Gwendolyn Gibson and Kate Courtney airing it up over the doubles. And again, those riders being a little more cautious. We saw our U23 men. And again, comfortable and cautious, the way to go. Risk assessment, a huge part of being successful in mountain bike racing, especially at this level. So these riders not taking any chances, having to think on the fly on what risks are worth taking and which ones they want to just forget about. And we're seeing a move by that rider in green and white in our U23 category. She is making a move into the lead with almost the entire Bear National team in tow right behind her. Here they go, dropping down into the ride. And there is rider number 3. That is Gwendolyn Gibson. Kate Courtney right behind, and Haley Batten third wheel as they work their way up the climb. On the march up the hill, like 3 of the strongest ants you've ever seen, our leaders in the elite women's category. Gwendolyn Gibson, Kate Courtney, and Haley Batten in that order, working their way to the top of the climb. They're getting ready to finish lap 1. All they've got to do is work their way down this downhill and run their way along that flat section into the home straight. And lap number 1 will be in the books.
$31, $35, and what was the other one? Got it. 31, 34, 20.
All right, so getting an eye on our top 4 in our U23. Leading out that charge was rider number 31, Ruby Ryan. In the number 2 spot, Chloe Frazier. And third wheel, that's rider number 35, McKenna Kellerman. And rider number 25 rounds out the top 4. That is Bailey Siopa from the Bear National Team. All right, so again, that top 4 order for our U23 women. Bailey Siopa, 4th wheel. McKenna Kellerman in 3rd. Chloe Frazier, 2nd. And Ruby Ryan leading out those athletes up the Kenda Power Climb. Meanwhile, our elite women, top 3, are working their way down that descent, getting closer to the flats that bring them into the finish. Ty, what do you think so far?
Well, it looks, is that Haley Batten getting on in 3rd wheel? She was... a little bit of gap going on, but that looks like that Specialized gear. Yeah, I believe that is the number 1 of Haley Batten has got back on. So she's got rid of Hannah Otto, and she's closed that gap. Actually, in yesterday's practice, Haley and Kelsey were the only females that I saw doing that double. I wonder if she wants to get to that double section first. I don't know if it's too windy, but I feel like she's got that ace in the hole. I think she's the only top woman jumping this in this group.
Well, yeah, on this first lap, we didn't quite see it. They were all playing it safe there over the double, just kind of rolling it. But that doesn't mean we won't see them pulling out a Hail Mary to make that jump to grab a few extra seconds. And, of course, Eric Carter, the man responsible for that killer double that we've seen some really cool airs off of, he's guessing that's a good 10-second advantage.
Well, I was just over there watching it, and they all rolled it, and the energy they lose to re-accelerate is, yeah, it's definitely way smoother and faster to jump it. Yep, that's definitely the number 1 of Haley Batten has got back on. She's all over Kate. And, Gwen Gibson, local out of Ramona, California in San Diego County. So the rise of Gwen Gibson to be on the Trek Factory team coming from this local area is a Cinderella story, to say the least. All right, and then we got a chase group right behind them. So we got 3 out in front, and then we got about a chase group of 6. I know Monroe is in there. I didn't catch the rest, but this field is already split on this Eric Carter designed course. The wind also coming, which it does in the afternoon, can also be a deciding factor. So let's see how this goes down here, Josh.
Well, yeah, looking at the gaps on our computer cheat sheet over here. 24-second gap back to chase number 1. That's led by Kelsey Urban. Also in there, Maddie Monroe, Hannah Otto, Jennifer Jackson, and Ruth Holcomb. Not far back from them, the next chase, that's Sandra Walter, Sophia Wade. And then you've got Michaela Thompson and Prescott, Arizona's Erin Osborne for tandem tutoring in that third chase.
All right, and then we got the lead U23 coming over Carter Hill right here. We started the U23 women, Josh, a couple minutes back, so it is a combined kind of field, but they have their own race. And so we've got a bunch of individual battles going on out here at Vail Lake, presented by Orange Seal.
Yeah, top 5 right now in our U23 race. Lauren Aguilar from Trinity Racing rounding out your top 5. Chloe Fraser from the Bear National Team in 4th. Bailey Siopa in 3rd. 2nd place is McKenna Kellerman, and then you got Ruby Ryan leading the field. And looking at the gaps here, Ruby Ryan is out in front, 4 seconds down. You have your next 3 Bear National Team riders, and 9 seconds down from that, Lauren Aguilar. So a little bit of a breakup there in our U23 category at the front.
Wow, what racing action, Josh. We got some of the finest U23 riders. We got some of the finest elite women out there. And this field is loaded, and we got battles going on all over this course. This is action-packed. You couldn't ask for much better racing.
Yeah, and given the tightness of this course and how spectator-friendly it is, you got to keep your head on a swivel to keep up with the action. I dare you to try and even do it.
And we're not going to police them, but please don't fly them. You're policing. Here's what I do. We're policing them. Get that thing out landed.
Yeah, that's what I usually do. I don't say anything about, hey, we're not.
All right, Josh, let's see if we can pick up the action here. It's Gwen leading, it's Kate Courtney, and it's Haley Batten locked on. We're in some of that single track section. I believe that's called Boca Raton on Trail Forks. I forget what the locals call it out here, but tight, twisty, edge to edge, corner to corner. I actually had the pleasure of racing with Gwen a few weeks ago in the Kinda Cup. So she knows every inch of this course. I know she practices out here. I saw her race out here a few weeks ago. So she knows where she can push. She knows what she can get away with out here.
Yeah, you know, I got to say, there's something about the intimate knowledge, you know, where every little root, rock, drop, and incline is, in like the back of your hand. There's something to be said for that, that home court advantage can make a huge difference on your performance, and also the amount of efficiency that you can express in your race. And I'll tell you what, the more efficient you go, the more matches you have to burn when it comes to the end, and it counts.
Well, Josh, you just nailed it. This is really a game of efficiency, isn't it? It's how many matches you have left at the end to get rid of your competition. And if you know this better and you're more efficient, almost like we saw Mason Salazar yesterday rolling away with a 15-16 Cat 1 win. No one has more mileage out here between these three than Gwen Gibson, the Trek Factory team. But let's be honest, Kate Courtney, former world champion, Tokyo Olympian. We got Tokyo Olympian and multinational champion Haley Batten. I'm by no way discrediting that they can't win this thing, but I just feel like Gwen's got the home court advantage right here. So let's see how this all shakes down. I feel like Haley needs to get in the front of this going up Air Force Hill, because I feel like she might be able to bust out that double possibly.
Oh, and look at her making a move over Kate Courtney, doing a little bunny hop. They come in side by side, but she's going to cede the position.
Well, this isn't Supercross. If that was Barsha, Kate might have been in some trouble there.
Look at that move. Haley Batten there making the move over the top. And look at Kate Courtney struggling to respond to that group.
Whoa.
That's her in the back there, third wheel, as the other two ride away.
And it looks like, yeah, wow, look at that. All of a sudden, Kate's dropped off. And Batten's gone to the front. I wonder if she wants that double. I hope she grabs that double right now. I was talking to her yesterday. The pre-ride, I think Eric Carter and I were at the fence. She was a big fan of it. Her and Kelsey Urban had gotten it down, felt pretty comfortable about that gap, realized that's a good 10-second advantage if you can clear that. And as we were talking, way more energy efficient when you do clear it.
Yeah, so not only a 10-second bonus there, but carrying all that extra momentum and saving all that extra energy is going to go a long way there out towards the end.
All right, and then we got another battle going on, just entering the Coliseum right now. So we got battles going on all over the course.
Hey, we're glitchy out here, Austin.
Oh, and a little bit of move there, getting around a back marker here. Already we're encountering back markers for our lead, and this is in our U23 race here. Again, we saw Ruby Ryan, Chloe Fraser, McKenna Kellerman. Look at this.
Is Gibson going to try to get to the... No, Haley's got it. No, this is the thing. Are we going to get the double? Haley's got the lead through the rock garden. This is the crucible moment. Is she going to clean this double? Let's check it out. Over the table. Does she clear it?
Looking strong over the table. Here she goes.
Oh! What did I tell you? She had that thing on links right there.
Well, yeah, and let's take a look at here, and look at the gap now. Again, a good multiple-second gap there, and a lot of energy saved.
Look at that gap, and I'd been talking to Eric Carter when we were designing that, and I said, hey, this is a section that can definitely be a decisive maker. It's a little progressive. It had a few people a little bit kind of concerned, but hey, we're trying to push the envelope here of cross-country racing here in the United States. Haley's got it down. Look at that gap it gave her, Josh. Unbelievable.
Well, that puts her in a position where she can kind of take it easy on the bottom half there, the Kenda power climb, while her competition there, Gwendolyn Gibson, is going to have to work really hard, and then she can go ahead and step on the gas again and start just working on that climb.
You know, Josh, I was just talking to Eric Carter right here up at the booth. For Haley to do that in this crosswind, I mean, that's a lot of respect. I mean, I don't know if people understand what level she's riding at right now. That's really impressive, man.
Well, yeah, you bring up a good point. You know, it's all about approach, takeoff, maneuver, and landing. You know, any jump that you hit. But once you're up in the air, you are at the mercy of the atmosphere and the weather conditions, and kind of planning for that in the heat of a race. That shows you that she has some next-level skills out there on the course.
And so, look, Gwen's got backed on, but she had to burn a couple matches to get there, and so that's exactly, well, this, if Haley can keep doing that double, wonder if that'll be a deciding factor. And we rode the course yesterday in the evening, so you know we didn't attempt that. And, you know, before that, leading into it is Hecker Hill, which is now famous on Instagram. And so this course is a lot more demanding than you would expect. I'm surprised to see Kate kind of this far off right now, this early on. I mean, she's kind of still in contact, but I think she wants to be on that third wheel, and so she's going to have to make that up. It's surprising that Kate is letting those two go off the front, but you know what? Never Kate Courtney, 2018 world champion and Tokyo Olympian. I'm sorry.
Yeah, she's about 12 to 15 seconds back. And, you know, this early on in the race, 6 laps of this race, that's not a whole lot. She's kind of sitting out there alone. I don't know, that's such a great spot with the wind and what it's doing. I think you want to be on somebody's wheel when you got it windy like this. However, Kate Courtney, again, got a pretty deep bag of tricks to work from with a lot of experience. I'm not counting her out just yet. Few moves being made on the battle behind here. Rider number 24 and rider number 7. That is Hannah Otto. Ruth Holcomb battling it out in that chase group of 4, making their way up the ridge.
And we got Jen Jackson in there from the Live Factory team, that I believe the current Canadian national champion, if I've got that right. So this place is stacked with talent, international talent. Great season opener, great spring race for this time for these athletes, and wow, Josh, we really got some talented individuals out there.
Yeah, as they say, if you build it, they will come, and you guys have certainly put together an incredible race as we're watching our riders make their way around. Won't be long now that our leaders in our elite women's category are through lap number 5 and through lap number 2, beginning lap number 3 here in just a few moments.
Wow, look at the shot off of the Kenda power climb, dropping off the backside. Look at those poppies just in the background. Beautiful. You couldn't get any better backdrop for this race with the flowers and the rain we've had here in California, but the course dried out. That looks like Batten's starting to stretch it out, if I've got it right. Yeah, that's Gibson second. So what a picturesque backdrop.
And peeking over at our U23 race, again, Ruby Ryan still at the front, trying to see who's on her wheel. Looks like that could be either Bailey Siopa or McKenna Kellerman. And that's Bailey, correction, yeah, McKenna Kellerman on her wheel. And I thought I saw rider number 26 there in that bunch, Sydney Nielsen. And she is admitted back, so it's likely Sydney Nielsen, one of our back markers. They are going to go get past, but right now it looks like it's 26 or 25. Here comes your leader. That is Haley Batten in, knocking out lap number 2, about to begin lap number 3 here and start the second third of the race. Still getting a little bit. No signal. Is it on? Yeah, I agree. Haley Batten working her way up and over Mount Carter.
Wow, Haley Batten starting to stretch it out. Gwen Gibson coming through.
And yeah, our top 3 is stretched out. Look at this. Gwendolyn Gibson, 11 seconds down from Haley Batten. Kate Courtney, 10 seconds down from Gwendolyn Gibson.
Kate Courtney, number 2, the 2018 world champ. Kate's looking up the road. She can see Gwen. I see it in her pedal stroke. She's going to try to get back on that wheel. But right now, the top 3 are spread out. It looks like Kate is slowly clawing her way back to Gwen Gibson, and we got Specialized factory rider Haley Batten, number 1, off the front at the 2023 U.S. Pro Cup, presented by Orange Seal.
Next group of riders coming through. This includes Hannah Otto, Maddie Monroe, Ruth Holcomb, and Jennifer Jackson in that group.
Of Jen Jackson, yeah, I just got a glimpse on that, Josh. I could see the purple bibs, white jersey, Jen Jackson getting back on. So we got a group of 4 working off a group of 3.
So your top 5 in our elite women look like this. Hannah Otto in the number 5 spot. Maddie Monroe in 4th. Kate Courtney sitting 3rd, 21 seconds down from our leader. Gwendolyn Gibson, 11 seconds down as of crossing the lap finish line. And Haley Batten in the lead and in control here in this race.
So Haley is already in the Boca Raton section doing switchback climbs. She's also got a gap. She's continuing to stretch this out, Josh. It looks like she's going away with this thing already this early in the race. I mean, Gwen's got to respond here pretty soon, I would imagine, because we're going to be coming into the Coliseum, and if she clicks off that double jump again, that tabletop double jump combo, there's another few seconds. She just keeps stringing it out, Josh.
Well, yeah, and it's almost equivalent to Haley Batten hitting that double. That's almost equivalent to somebody grabbing onto Gwendolyn Gibson's seat post and pulling her back like a good 30 or 40 feet every lap, and her having to make that back up.
Well, that's the energy we talked about. It's someone grabbing your seat post. Haley cleans it and rolls through, carries momentum. The rest that are rolling it got to re-accelerate. You got to get back on the pedals. That's just extra wattage and energy burned.
Yeah, and there go our U23 athletes here, our leaders in that category. And Ruby Ryan and McKenna Kellerman still neck and neck. McKenna Kellerman getting around Ruby Ryan as they work their way up the feed zone. Not a big switch there, just a little bit of a position change.
Then here comes the chase pack led by 2 Bear development riders. And who have we got there, Josh? We got...
So that is going to be led out by Bailey Siopa. There's Chloe Frazier in there. And then Trinity Racing's Lauren Agler rounding out your top 5. I got to say, I'm a huge fan of Lauren Agler. Her dad owns my favorite soda company in Durango, Zuber Fizz. I'm a soda snob, man. I got to have the good stuff. It's locally made, no corn syrup, real sugar. That's where it's
fun
at.
fact. Yeah, no, I've known Lauren for a couple years. We did some media stuff with her a couple years out in Fayetteville. Great person, and so it's good to see her in the mix. And now we know about the little soda fun fact.
Ariana Milelli out of Arizona coming in. There's Natasha Vishnak, Catherine Wood, and Holly Levasseur making their way underneath the lap finish arch.
And then on the other screen, look at, we just got Haley Batten starting to carve those corners. She looks like she's in a good rhythm. Her body positioning tells me she's feeling really strong, plenty of energy left, and she is just throttled down right now.
Well, yeah, that's what it's all about. You kind of finding your zone, kind of finding that sweet spot between that acceptable level of pain where you're pushing hard enough, you're feeling the hurt, but you're not taking too many risks, and you're keeping your composure at the same time.
Yeah, and this course is all about momentum. You're always on the pedals. It's very deceiving, the course profile, but it'll just death by 1,000 cuts, is like I like to say. It just slowly wears you out.
Well, yeah, sure, we think of cycling as a leg sport, but this truly is a full-body workout, especially on a course like this when you talk about how much bike handling comes into play here. There are no climbs where you can just put your head down and grind away and go into zombie mode.
Yeah, that would maybe the longest climb here is kin to power climb, but look at that gap. They've come up. Haley's already made Mike Hecker Hill, and Gwen hasn't even hit it. Let's see if Gwen can get back on, and now Gwen's cleared Hecker Hill, and she's going up Air Force. I haven't yet seen Gwen. Here she comes over Hecker Hill onto Air Force. Oh, man, that's a good 10, 15-second gap. Haley is heading into her comfort zone, which is the Coliseum and maybe the jump. That's at least 17 seconds, maybe 20-second gap. So Gwen's got to chisel that away. And if Haley grabs another double on that, Mike, that's just another free energy section where Haley's going to string it out even more.
Yeah, Kate Courtney down there in the number 3 spot, still at about a 10-second gap to our number 2 rider, kind of holding her spot. But what that means is that Haley Batten is riding away from the rest of them while Kate Courtney and Gwendolyn Gibson are just kind of holding their spots.
No, that's exactly right. And let's see if this Orange Seal Speed and Style section, as we've named it, which is the tabletop into the jump, let's see if Haley uses this Orange Seal Speed and Style section to just put more time on this group. She's riding next level right now. It seems like she's the only top 3 female rider to clear this. And let's see if she gets another one or if she decides to check up, maybe play it safe. We're going to find out real quick, Josh.
Well, yeah, she's riding smooth through here, and she doesn't have to worry about anybody breathing down her legs. She can take her own lines, and I'm guessing she is going to take that free extra 10 seconds here. Let's see.
Oh, yep, she did it again. I mean, she is just next level on that double. I mean, just, wow, impressive. Good, great riding from Haley Batten on that Specialized Epic.
This is huge because those are free seconds every single lap that she really isn't having to work for.
Haley on an absolute mission.
Yeah, dude. In the wind like it's windy. That's it. That's me and Glenn Helen starting far left and then hitting the 90-footer and landing just on the edge of the far right, just parasailing.
I hated that shit, dude.
And that 125 just boner air. I haven't even hit that thing yet. I'm still scared. But I'll just do the dead sailor, just still clip dead.
I was told
the announcer.
And so I think we're looking at that, what I'll call the second major chase group of Maddie Monroe, Hannah Otto, and Jen Jackson, just coming into the orange and the Orange Seal Speed and Style section. Let's see if these girls go ahead and do the double, or do they elect to check up? Here we go, Josh. They're checking up on this one, and look, you can just see how much faster that is to clear it. And then, as well as the energy we were talking about earlier, they're going to hit that 6 times. This is going to play a factor, Josh.
Yeah, it's wild. The way you approach that speed and stylus section is very, very volatile. There's a big swing there. Either you fly into it full speed and it's effortless, 0 energy wasted, 0 speed lost, or you check up and play it safe, and it costs you seconds and energy.
And then it looks like I see Batten already on the Kinda Power Climb, reaching in her back pocket. Maybe she's getting a gel just to fuel up. I mean, look at her flying up that hill right now. I mean, unbelievable. As I said, we rode that with Mike Hecker yesterday. You know how steep that is. That is no joke to even try to get up right now, and she's making it look easy.
Yeah, correction, though, we did not ride that with Mike Hecker. You and I rode to the top, and we waited and waited and waited, and then Mike Hecker showed up at the top.
Well, yeah, no, Mike was, he's a little off right now. He's had a long winter break up there with the rain in NorCal, so we need to give Mike a break. But you're right, we did wait on Mike. But the point being, that is a nasty little climb that Eric Carter and the Vailocity crew built for us out there, because I said, Eric, we need some elevation. We need that longer climb of 2 to 3 minutes to really make this course legit, which he did. And so we can't thank the Velocity crew at the helm of Eric Carter enough. And unbelievable day of racing out here, Josh.
Yeah, absolutely. And shout out to some of our other teammates. Of course, a reminder that Ruby and McKenna, they are both teammates over there at the Collegiate Cycling Powerhouse, Colorado Mesa University. And, of course, also a shout out to... And what do we got going on up the hill? Lots of stuff happening there up on Air Force Hill. Lots of riders coming through.
I mean, we got action spread out all over the course here, Josh. Let us get our bearings back a little bit and see if we can capture. I see Jen Jackson in one of my views from Live Giant trying to get back on some. They're on the Kinda Power Climb. Jen's lost. Josh, there's just too much action to keep up with today.
Yeah, I'm about ready to throw this microphone through Austin's window and just drive off my car and go back to Colorado here. This is crazy.
So I got Hannah Otto, I got Monroe, the number 24. Can I get a read on that? Oh, that's Ruth Holcomb. So like we talked about, battles going on all over the place. Unbelievable, man. I am just really excited to see the level of the talent here at this U.S. Pro Cup presented by Orange Seal at Vail Lake.
Yeah, some of the most exciting racing I've gotten to experience in a long time. I'm really enjoying this, and I'm feeling for each and every one of those riders as a long-time cross-country racer, both from grassroots local events all the way up to national and international events. I can relate to what these riders are going through in just about every position.
And I think I got a bead on Haley Batten on the backside of the Kinda Power Climb, heading toward the finish. She's now recovering after that long climb and just ripping this single track apart on her specialized factory racing bike. So looking dialed in so far. I mean, barring disaster, I mean, she looks really in control here. And I think these women have 6 times up that power climb. So I did it once with you yesterday and we were out of breath. And, you know, like you said, Mike almost had to walk that. So imagine what these young ladies are going through.
Well, yeah, but they, as you know, they train for this as a coach, Ty. We talk about how quickly you can recover and how you train for that. Talk us through a little bit of that.
Well, step number 1 is don't do what Mike Hecker. I think he was on his tri-tip odometer, maybe on his third or fourth tri-tip on the day. So these are finely tuned athletes. They know what they put in their body. But, yeah, going back to the physical aspect, you got to ride within yourself. You look at your wattage. You look at the heart rate. You stay within yourself because you know if you drain the tank too early, that kind of power climb on those last lap or two is really going to pull you apart. And here comes Haley Batten over Mount Carter, Josh, coming right at us in the booth.
Yeah,
Look at Haley go, getting low.
And she's looking steady and strong, and just getting a quick glance at the expression on her face. Now, she is not too deep into the pain cave, but she is absolutely 100% laser focused on the job at hand, knowing that she is halfway through this event, and she is putting in a very big gap. We're just now seeing Gwendolyn Gibson making her way down to the start arch. There's Kate Courtney, and check this out. The gap now 36 seconds back to Gwendolyn Gibson. Haley Batten is a runaway train.
And here comes Gwen Gibson over Mount Carter, the new Trek Factory rider, local girl from Ramona. Gwen Gibson doing some local racing with us a few weeks ago. But I got to be honest, Haley Batten's riding style, her body language to me, I mean, she is flying through this headwind. She's literally slicing through it. I don't know if it's the new Prevail Specialized helmet. I don't know if it's the S-Works bike. Or let's be honest, I don't know if it's just her ability, Josh, but she looks so good right now.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Kate Courtney rolls through, knocking out lap number 3 into the second half of the race. She is roughly 13 seconds down on Gwendolyn Gibson. So that gap between Courtney and Gibson not changing a whole lot. They're both almost riding exactly at the same pace. They just happen to be about 10, 12 seconds apart.
And you know Kate wants to get on that wheel, get a little relief from Gibson, maybe like rest up a little bit. But the problem is she's got to claw through the wind. And so they're almost in their own individual battle with the elements. And we're going to see how that affects their energy as this race winds down. 6 laps, quite a few times on this course is going to show who's the fittest.
Well, yeah, so from anybody that comes from road racing that encounters mountain biking for the first time, especially cross country, I believe it was Bob Roll that said this is mountain bike racing starts with a sprint finish and ends with a time trial. And these riders definitely out there time trialing all by themselves. There's rider number 24, and I think that's rider number 9, Jennifer Jackson for Bear National Team. Sorry, Jennifer Jackson for Live Factory Racing with Ruth Holcomb for the Bear National Team. There's number 7 and 8 coming through, Maddie Monroe and Hannah Otto making their way up towards the feed zone.
Yeah, so this field is splinter. It was Otto and Monroe. It was Jen Jackson, and I believe it is I'm getting the 24 of the Bear Development is, Holcomb, sorry, Ruth Holcomb. That group has now split. That 4 has now split into 2 groups of 2, and I think we have 3 laps to go.
Yeah, and this will make 2 laps to go for our U23 women once they come rolling through. Again, Ruby Ryan looking strong at the front.
Jen Jackson and Holcomb going through the UCI feed zone. None choose to grab a bottle. Looks like Ruth is going to go to the front for a little bit, and Jen Jackson's going to slip on in. And I think we got a bead on Kelsey Urban. I see the Team 31 jersey. Who else do we got in front of her? Number 5. Who do we got there?
So rider number 5, that's going to be Sandra Walter from Team Live Canada.
A lot of Canadians coming down, probably getting out of the bad weather, start their spring campaign. World Cup opener in May, Josh, so this is a good way to shake out the fitness, test the equipment. You got a month to figure it out, work on things when you come out of this U.S. Pro Cup here at Vail Lake. You got the Fayetteville coming up in 10 days. Great little spring campaign for a lot of these Canadian athletes.
Yeah, I'm excited about Fayetteville. That is one I am not going to miss. I'll tell you, that's going to be a lot of fun. We look forward to seeing you there in 2 weeks' time. It's going to be a good one.
So totally different course there in the woods, kind of a little bit of East Coast, super chunky. Done a lot of work out there, changed the course again. So, yeah, we look forward to having you announce that as well in 10 days. So here we go.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. You know, us West Coasters, we think of the desert being the rocky, rough kind of terrain until you get over to the other side of the Mississippi in the forest there, and you find out just how rough and bumpy a forest ride can be with the legendary rock gardens and root sections that you'll find over there east of the Mississippi. Here come our U23 top 3 riders. So this is going to be comprised of McKenna Kellerman, rider number 35, Ruby Ryan sitting in the number 2 spot, number 31 at Vailocity for the Bear national team, who's currently leading the rest of those 2 up the feed zone.
Austin, can we get some graphics or no?
Oh no, number 10 should be, I bet here's number 10. Number 10 is going to be here. That's Haley Smith. She's the back marker.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's what we got going on. Number 10, Haley Smith. The U23s have actually caught Haley Smith. That's wow.
Yeah, correct. So Ruby Ryan and McKenna Kellerman locked in a battle. Chloe Frazier, 39 seconds down as of the close of lap number 3. So we've got our top 5 in. Bailey McSpadden overtakes Lauren Agler for that number 5 spot. Those 2 are locked in a battle right now for 5th place.
Wow, Haley Boughton has already cleared Hecker Hill. She's on Air Force, and I haven't even seen Gibson come into the base of the college. Here comes Gwen Gibson. I mean, an absolute clinic from Haley Boughton. And look at her body language. She is not even backing off 1 ounce. So she's testing the fitness. I talked to her earlier today. She's actually going to skip Fayetteville to head over to Europe early to get in some training. So I think she's really just testing her own ability right now and not even playing this tactically, Josh.
Sure, and it is certainly playing out well for her as Kate Courtney makes her way up and over Air Force Hill down into the Coliseum area.
And then I got Kate in 3rd. I think she should be popping up over Hecker Hill real quick onto Air Force. There she is. So that gap feels like it's kind of remaining the same, but she can't quite get on. So we'll see how that kind of evolves throughout the next 2 laps.
Yeah, so Kate Courtney quite possibly slipping back off the pace of Gwendolyn Gibson. You know, those last 2 laps, they were just about 10 seconds apart, riding the exact same speed. They just happened to have some real estate between them. But now Kate Courtney seems to be slipping back just a little bit.
Yep, and Haley's coming into the Orange Seal Speed and Style section. Cleans it again. I mean, she's just flawless right now. She's on rails, Josh. I mean, the confidence she's riding with right now is just really impressive. I mean, this is I mean, we're looking at one of the best riders actually in the globe right now. So.
Well, yeah, and here's one of the silly things about that double jump in the Speed and Style section. It's no different than doing like a little 1-foot gap jump or a tabletop for the matter, right? The only difference is there's a dip in the middle, and it's just a little further. So it's just that it's all that mental mindset over what you're comfortable doing.
Well, that thing is pretty tall. You know, we rode it yesterday. It's overhead high. So, yeah, the distance isn't the real thing, but it's the intimidation of the look of that face. There's a little bit of an angle. I like to call it an old hip jump from our BMX days. So you got to be able to kind of lay into it and cross it over and kind of bank to the left there. And so, yeah, it's an intimidation factor. But these young women are the new future of the sport, and they're really hanging it out right now. It's impressive.
Kate Courtney getting some big air over it. Not quite going. She was thinking about it. She goes right up against the uphill side of the hip there on the landing.
Yeah, in the moto days, we might have called that casing it a little bit, you know, kind of just getting up there but not quite over it and stuff. But Kate's still putting quite a ride in. She's a solid 3rd right now, Josh. But, I mean, Batten's already a quarter of the way up the Kinda Power climb right now. Hecker Hills. Which one's Hecker Hills? Coming up this way after you go over the bolt. Okay. After 3 times.
There's Madeline Robinson coming through. She is one of our pit riders coming in. Sydney Nielsen, Kira Bond, Isabella Robles, Maya Graham, our last few riders in and underneath our lap finish arch. And Haley Batten making her way up, ascending to the top of that Kenda Power Climb, riding like it's a matter of life and death.
No, I can't believe how hard she's still going with this big of a lead, which tells me this is just really a test race for her legs before she heads to Europe. And so she's going to go ahead and give it everything instead of playing this tactically a little bit. And she's about to drop into this backside. What a blast we had yesterday. For anyone who's ridden this backside drop, how cool is this section, Josh? I mean, it just leaves you with a smile on your face.
Yeah, really fast and flow. I felt a little bit of a disadvantage because I've been in snowboard mode since November. And Mike Hecker was nice enough to bring a bike out for me to ride. A little foreign. I'm mostly used to since I was on platforms yesterday on a smaller bike that wasn't quite adjusted, and I still had fun nonetheless, even though it was a little funky on that very foreign bike.
No, I mean, that was nice that Mike brought you that, and if I recall, you were in flat pedals wearing your McQueens and still dropping Hecker on that bike that you hadn't ridden. So, man, you were rail to rail yesterday, and it was impressive to see.
It was a good time. It was a good time.
All right, so we got another group going up Air Force Hill. We got battles going on. So that's going to be yeah. So that got it. So that's our U23 leaders.
So our U23 riders cresting over the top of the Kenda Power Climb. Kenda Kellerman, Ruby Ryan, and Chloe Frazier still all together.
And the wind continues to pick up, Josh. If you're a local here, you know as the afternoon, if you've ridden out here, you know as the afternoon continues, this wind becomes stronger and stronger as it blows inland. So for the men's race, it's going to even be a bigger factor. So these women have a couple laps to go. Haley using the dropper saddle right there. I thought I saw her just to get a little bit lower. She's on the back side of the Kenda Power Climb, and then she's making her way back towards the finish, towards us. So she should be coming into sight in the next couple minutes. And, man, she's got this thing on lock so far.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, speaking of the dropper post, an innovation right up there with tubeless tire technology in my book. Once I finally started getting used to a dropper post, man, I can't imagine having a bike without it anymore.
Yeah, no, I know a lot of us guys have embraced that and stuff that were kind of old school like us. I wouldn't ride without one. And you see a lot of these top pros, they ride one as well. It's just kind of takes things to the next level, like you said, to the tubeless tires. And speaking of tubeless tires, they only work if you have sealant in it. So you might as well drop by and see John Vargas at Orange Seal and get filled up.
Yeah, fresh set of Kenda tires with the orange seal on the inside. That is a winning combination right here, and that is our combination here at the U.S. Pro Cup as our leader comes charging through to knock out another lap.
And then we got Jen Jackson and Ruth Holcomb battling it out on the Kenda Power Climb. And then up in front of them, it looks like Monroe and Otto. So, again, battles everywhere.
There's Haley Batten going underneath the arch. And she is on the gas, a woman on a mission. And she is 2 to go, 2 laps to go.
I got Haley Batten coming over to Kenda Power Climb. She is not letting up, Josh. She's tucked in. The wattage, the pedal, the cadence, everything looks good. Haley is fully committed. She is just on a mission today, Josh. I mean, she's really feeling it.
And no sign of Gwen Gibson or Kate Courtney. Madeline Robinson making her way to the chute. She is one of our U23 riders. But Haley Batten just on the gas. There's Gwendolyn Gibson. She is on the approach to the lap finish chute. Gwendolyn Gibson, keep at it, looking steady and strong. The gap from your number 1 rider, Haley Batten, down to Gwendolyn Gibson now at 1 minute, 3 seconds.
And I just
We're
got
still waiting
Gwen
for Kate
coming by
Courtney.
the number
She's
3.
just coming through.
Yep, Gwen takes a look over her shoulder to see if Kate Courtney's behind her, and she's pedaling on. She's going to go through the first feed zone here. Here comes Kate Courtney. She's all alone in third. She can see Gwen as she comes over Mount Carter, and she's trying to get back on that wheel. Come on, Kate, let's go. Keep that going.
Yeah, and Courtney chipping away at their gap up to again Gwendolyn Gibson. That is now down to 8 seconds. Got an eye on our U23 battle with Michaela Kenderman and Ruby Ryan. They're working their way up the Kenda Power Climb. Chloe Frazier in there as well. Looks like Taylor Smith also in that group. So actually, no, that means it's McKenna Kellerman, Ruby Ryan, and Chloe Frazier, I believe, in our U23 group, making their way up the top of the climb right now. And they're about to crest over here and begin that downhill, so we'll be able to get some more accurate time gaps once they cross through the finish line here in about 5 or 6 minutes. Madeline Robinson, Ruth Holcomb, Sandra Walter, and Kelsey Urban making their way underneath the lap finish arch. Welcome back to these riders. And the elite women's race completely blown to pieces. Haley Batten just running away with it at this pace. She is looking at coming across the line with 2 minutes of time between her and the number 2 rider, Gwendolyn Gibson. Kate Courtney, though, trying to chip away at that time there and roll back that second place. So she is working hard. Gwendolyn Gibson's going to have her work cut out for her because Kate Courtney is chipping away.
Josh, let's see if we can get some noise from the fans out here. It's getting a little quiet. Let's get these women some motivation as they're pushing through with 2 laps to go, I believe, Josh.
Yeah, spectators, they feed off your energy. All of you folks up there along the ridge there at Air Force Hill, let's charge those athletes up and cheer them on.
We got Haley Batten coming into, going to be heading into Hecker Hill. Whoa. Do you see her do that little step up over that ledge? I mean, she's just using every ounce of the terrain to just keep the momentum. She should be coming up Hecker Hill here.
Yeah, why ride the bumpy stuff when you can just float over the top of it? Here she comes, maintaining a ton of momentum as she bounces through that berm.
Just attacking
up the other
in
side.
Air Force. Josh, do you see the difference of a finely tuned athlete between that and Mike Hecker and 3 sandwiches of tri-tip in him? It's just amazing the difference right now.
Haley Batten dropping in down onto the arena side of things over there on Air Force Hill, wrapping her way around, and it's going to bring her back over into our speed and style section here in just a few minutes.
And here comes Gwen Gibson. So Gwen's going to be entering into Hecker Hill as well. Haley's already crested the top and headed into the Coliseum. Let's check out Gwen's cadence and body language, and let's see how she's feeling, Josh.
Look at the power exhibited by Haley Batten as she makes her way into the approach to the Rock Gardens. Just absolutely flying. That seat post drop down nice and low. Making her way to the log drop. Here she goes, about to hit the tabletop. Up and over. No momentum lost. Here she goes into the double. Sailing sky high, placing those wheels back down on the knuckle. Exactly where she wants them. No momentum lost. Meanwhile, there's Kate Courtney making her way up the hill. We're also looking for Gwendolyn Gibson. Gwendolyn Gibson making her way through the rock garden, making it look easy. Up and over the tabletop, a little more conservative as she carefully picks her way over that double, not looking to waste any time. And that looks like Kate Courtney making her way down. There's Arizona's Ariana Malelli riding for Voltaire and Bikesmith Cycler. Anna Hicks and Lauren Lackman also coming through underneath the arch. And for our U23 riders, it is going to be one to go as they lap underneath the arch. And Kate Courtney. Rider number 2 out there in the mix. We're also seeing Gwendolyn Gibson out there in the number 2 spot. She is rolling her way up the hill. Kate Courtney making her way up the Kenda Power Climb as well. We'll be able to get an idea on the depth of the gaps between those two riders. Meanwhile, that battle on our U23 side is looking absolutely brutal. We've got our three riders, Ruby Ryan, McKenna Kellerman, and Bailey Siopa, all together here. There's your top three in the U23 category, making their way up Hecker Hill climb right now. Pushing hard, losing a little bit of momentum, but staying strong after so many laps. This is their final lap, so let's cheer them on, everyone.
Wow, 6 times up Hecker Hill. Look at that. Yeah, and that's right. You're right. 5 times for the U23, 6 times for the elite women. Looking good there out front. The dominant Bear development team has been winning all weekend here, Josh. What a program that Julia Vailocity has put together for us.
Yeah, it's been absolutely incredible and well-funded. Great opportunity for a lot of elite-level riders to cut their teeth and build themselves into becoming world-class riders thanks to Julie Vailocity and the Bear national team. We want to thank her for her support of American cross-country racing. And here comes Haley Batten. I want to say this puts her at 1 to go as she comes through. So yeah, 5 laps in the books for Haley Batten, 1 to go. I'm curious to see what this gap is. We're expecting it to be somewhere around 1.5 minutes at this point.
Wow, Josh, Haley Batten, head down, just powering. I mean, I haven't even seen a crack in the armor right now. The wattage is unbelievable.
And just a reminder, everybody out there is on their last lap. This is final lap for all of our racers out on the course. Final lap. Should be seeing Gwen Gibson here anytime, but Haley Batten unrelenting as she takes her lap for the final time. And here comes Gwendolyn Gibson, your number 2 rider in our elite women's category. And we are just a few moments away from knowing what the gap is. And there it is, Haley Batten going 30 seconds a lap quicker at this point over Haley Batten. The gap now, 1:32. Well, Haley Batten is 1.5 minutes ahead. Gwendolyn Gibson is not far behind Kate Courtney. Kate Courtney, 32, wow. And Kate Courtney pulling back the throttle a significant amount. She is down almost 40 seconds on Gwendolyn Gibson. We're waiting for Madigan Monroe to cross the line to find out if that gap is going to close down. That's going to put Madigan Monroe in a really good spot to pull down third place on the podium here with less than 1 lap to go. And looking at a U23 battle for the lead, it looks like it has come down to McKenna Kellerman for the Bear National Team and Ruby Ryan, those two battling it out. They're making their way to the very top of that Kenda power climb. Hey, just a reminder, spectators, and I know we've told you this before, so I know you know this. The crosswalk at the finish line is closed. If you want to cross from the outfield to the infield, the only way to do that is the tunnel underneath Mount Carter. Again, there is no way to cross at the finish line. The only way to cross to the infield is through the tunnel. So we got our eyes on Haley Batten here as she works her way through the single track. We're going to be seeing here in not too long her on the Specialized machine. She is absolutely flying today. Yeah, that's what I keep seeing, and Mike told me to remind people of that. Okay, cool, because I got to get down there. Are you talking about the
Wow, Josh, a minute and a half of Haley Batten. We're watching a clinic here today at the U.S. Pro Cup presented by Orange Seal at Vail Lake. I'm speechless at this point. I mean, we're just watching her at her finest right now.
Yeah, this is absolute next level, above and beyond. If there was something, a category beyond elite, Haley Batten would be in that category right now. And again, Kate Courtney there in third place, easing off the throttle there on that last lap, slipping back a little further. That gap between her and Gwendolyn Gibson increasing to about 37 seconds after that last lap. Maddie Monroe also slowing down. So this is what's wild, man. Gwendolyn Gibson not going slow. She is trucking right along, and she is putting a lot of dust between her, Kate Courtney, and the rest of the field. However, Haley Batten is on another level. And your leader, Haley Batten, working her way back towards the speed and style section. She'll be swinging around. She is over on the arena side of Air Force Hill. Railing around these berms, making it look easy. And here she comes, working her way to the top of Air Force Hill. She comes around that tight right hand or at the top of the hill. Around the sweeping left, she's working her way up out of the saddle. She is stepping on the gas, not relenting in the slightest as she works her way down through the rock gardens. And here she comes. She's going to drop in on the tabletop. Sailing over the double one more time. This is Haley Batten's day on the bike. There goes Erin Osborne from Prescott, Arizona. Her and Ariana Malelli, both training partners. Malelli riding in the U23 category. But we've seen those two do battle down in Arizona at some of their training races. It's been a lot of fun watching that. Your leader, Haley Batten, on her way up to the base of the Kenda Power Climb, where she is going to step on the gas, wind those turbochargers up to 25 PSI, and diesel her way up the hill. And there we go. Take a look at that. Bear National Team grabbing another win. McKenna Kellerman, your winner of our U23 women's race. Ruby Ryan coming in the number 2 spot. We're going to take a look at the gap. 22 seconds was the gap. Bailey Siopa coming in 3rd for the Bear National Team with 5 laps in the book. So congratulations to our top 3 in the U23 women's category. There goes Haley Batten out of the saddle as though she is attacking on an imaginary competitor. I mean, she is boosted all the way up this hill like a Porsche 911 Turbo, making its way up Mulholland with his foot to the floor. And the way Haley Batten is smashing those pedals, I won't be surprised if all the metal is bent and her cleats are flattened and they need to be replaced at the end of this race. She is laying down some wattage. Here comes our number 3 rider, Kate Courtney, working her way through the speed and style section. She's just a few turns away from doing the quick climb up to the rock garden on her final lap. There's Trinity Racing's Lauren Agler out of Durango, Colorado, coming in the number 7 spot. She's going to roll in. And she has done and dusted. In the meantime, we're looking at rider number 3. That is our Gwendolyn Gibson for the Trek Factory Racing Team. She is in the number 2 spot, working her way up the switchbacks at the very bottom of the Kenda Power Climb. And she's in a good place here. She's just got to keep it going. Plenty of gap between her. She's out kind of in no woman's land, though, but out there in the top 3, not a bad place to be if you got to go there. Arizona's Ariana Malelli coming into the finish, riding for Team Valera and Bike Smith Cyclery. Nice job, Ariana. Good to see you out here racing with us.
To the barriers right here before the finish line. It's going to make for some great fun.
And yeah, Mikey bringing us out to the barriers. That is because our leader, Haley Batten, on her way in. Meanwhile, Natasha Visnek rounding out our top 10 in our U23 women's category. And I got just enough time to call out that top 10. So 10th place, Natasha Visnek, Ariana Morelli in 9th, Lauren Lackman in 8th, Lauren Agler 7th, 6th place, Bailey McSpadden. And here we go with our winner of the Elite Women's XCO here at the 2023 Vail Lake Cross Country. This is your winner, riding for Specialized Factory Racing, Haley Batten. And Haley, once you catch your breath, we'd love to see you over here at the media tent, located on the other side of Mount Carter there at the first turn. Come over and see us so we can give you an interview. So getting back to our top 5 there. In the U23, Bailey McSpadden coming in 6th place, then Taylor Smith from the Bear National Team in 5th. 4th place in U23, that's Chloe Frazier for the Bear National Team. 3rd place go to Bailey Siopa. Ruby Ryan grabs 2nd, and McKenna Kellerman for the Bear National Team, taking the win in U23. Catherine Wood is going to be our next finisher coming in. She is one of our elite women's riders. Nice work out there today, Catherine. Yeah, and Mike, we're watching her. She is out of the saddle, making her way around that big oak tree. It won't be long now. She is on her way home. Southern California's Gwendolyn Gibson locking down the number 2 spot here in this Elite Women's XCO race. Here she comes, everybody. On your feet, let's welcome the hometown girl. Home and done. This is Gwendolyn Gibson from Trek Factory Racing. She's going to be grabbing the number 2 spot. And the gap, 2 minutes, 16 seconds. But still, it's all high fives and smiles all the way around. These two competitors put on a great show for us. We're going to be keeping our eyes peeled for Kate Courtney, our number 3 rider. And in the chute right now, Olympian and world champion Kate Courtney coming in. She's going to be locking down that number 3 spot. Let's welcome her in, riding for the Scott SRAM MTB race team. Here she is, everybody, Kate Courtney. And we'd love to have our top 3 elite women. That's Haley Batten, Gwendolyn Gibson, and Kate Courtney down here for an interview once you've caught your breath. There's Kira Bond, Emma Schwab approaching the line here. Welcome back, Emma. Next rider coming in, that is Samantha Campbell, one of our Texas Devo Orange Seal riders. She gets across the line in quick time. She's one of our U23 riders, wrapping up her race, 5 laps strong.
Yeah, unrelenting.
For the drone, I can feel it. It is a little chill.
It looks like you got a lot in there. Do I? Okay, I don't know. I just don't.
You tell me. So I don't want to say you're good and then
Give it up. So it's flashing there.
Final race of the day coming up here in about 30 minutes from now at 4 p.m. That is our UCI Elite Men's Race. Stick around. You're not going to want to miss it. I want to also take a moment and thank our sponsors. Of course, our presenting sponsor, Orange Seal, the official tire sealant of the U.S. Pro Cup 2023 events. Head on over and talk with John and the crew in the expo to find out about their latest products. Also, a big shout out to a very fruitful and successful Julia Violich of Violich Farms. She's one of the main staples of U.S. cross-country racing, a longtime supporter of the U.S. Pro Cup. Julia also operates one of the most successful amateur Devo teams of the weekend, the Bear National Team. It's supporters like Village Farms that help make these events you see today possible. Also want to thank Specialized Bicycles, the official bicycle of the U.S. Pro Cup. Tanner and the crew over at the Specialized Tents to show you their latest innovations. Also, Kenda Tires and ESI Grips. Big shout out to Athlos, Baghouse Industrial Sheet Metal, Dope BMX Products, and of course, let's not forget Next Level Performance Coaching. Go talk to 5-time U.S. National Mountain Bike Champion and 20-time World Champion Ty Katie about the custom packages available for all ages and skill levels to suit your needs. Yeah, I believe he's a 20-time world quarter bouncing champion. Well, shoot, we got. Go, Haley.
Thank you.
We ready?
Fancy Mike.
All right, hold on. How's my hair look? That's very important.
I think me too. I'm
Yours is all like slick back. I think it's like
sweaty.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
All right, I'm going to start talking. Good afternoon, everybody. It's Josh Ball, the voice, here with you at the 2023 U.S. Pro Cup, and we are chatting here with our winner of the Elite Women's XCO. This is Haley Batten, riding for Team Specialized. Haley, what was the deal there? You had the boost on the turbochargers turned all the way up to 40 PSI the entire race. What was going on there? That was incredible.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I think always just trying to get the jitters out early in the season, and I think we also, I mean, it's pretty cool. We have some of the best girls in the world here, and I think it's just a group training camp at the end of the day, and we're going to be preparing for Europe pretty soon, and I think the more we can push each other, the better we'll be.
So let's talk about laps 1 and 2 there. You were definitely off the front there, but you hadn't quite stepped on the gas yet. Was it just a matter of kind of feeling out the competitors and seeing where they were at? What was going on those first couple laps in terms of feeling out your competition?
Yeah, I think everybody's a bit excited in the first lap and goes for the single track, and I got just a bit pushed back in the first, I guess, chop point into the single track, and Gwen and Kate were riding pretty smooth, so I kind of just, we got a little dropped off, and I knew on a course like this you can't really let something like that go. You have to close it as fast as possible because just how fast and flowy this course is. It's super fun, but yeah, you can't risk any space between riders. So I think once I caught back on, I just kind of settled in, saw what the pace was, and then, yeah, tried to make it hard.
Now, with this course having so many spots where trails are going next to each other and you're kind of getting an idea of where your competition might be, was there any point in the race where you just kind of looked back and said, wow, I am really laying waste to the rest of the field here. I'm really going to step on it now and just see how it goes?
Yeah, I think I was always trying. I mean, there are only 2 steady climbs, so I think they're short, and you just have to give it everything you have, every chance. And yeah, I mean, I think even though I had a gap, you're always intimidated that something might happen or go wrong. So I think it's just a matter of, yeah, keeping the pressure on and making it exciting, I guess.
Well, right on. Haley Batten, what a race. Now, checking out your steed over there. Looks like a pretty basic, unassuming, specialized stump jumper full suspension bike. But I notice you have that cloth area over the top tube and down the seat stays. Is that A, to keep that area of the bike warm because it gets cold? B, is that like a little bit of tiny padding? Or C, is that hiding some sort of top secret technology that nobody's supposed to know about?
Yeah, definitely A. I mean, it's a little bit warm out here, but with the wind, it keeps things cool. So I want to make sure my suspension's working really well and the temps, you know, keeping it cozy. You want to make sure the suspension's top notch, especially for a course like this. But no, there is something hidden under there. It's blackout phase right now, but I will say so far it's 2 for 2 with wins, so I'm pretty happy about it.
Right on. So what's next for you?
What's next? I'm actually moving to France this year with my boyfriend and committing to the full World Cup schedule, so I'll be heading over to France in honestly just a couple days. So I think from there it's just settling in and preparing for the first World Cup in May.
That's awesome. Well, yeah, you better head home, get those bikes packed, and don't forget the passports. Haley Batten on a mission today. Can't wait to see what you do in Europe. Let's go ahead and talk to our number 3 rider, Kate Courtney. I'm excited to hear her perspective on things.
Hey there.
Kate, how we doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. How's the Scott machine running today?
It was fabulous, you know, had some super fast tires on, which are always fun to run when it's dry out here, and chose a full suspension. It was just a blast to ride. I think it looks smooth, but it's pretty bumpy and flowy out there, and we definitely had some fun.
Yeah, and it kind of goes back to that whole thing when I talk to people, and I go to a lot of races throughout the years, and every once in a while I hear somebody say, you know, this course isn't difficult or technical enough, and I always tell them, if you ride it faster, then it's going to get more difficult and technical. Would you say that was kind of the case here?
Yeah, anything becomes technical if you go fast enough. So, yeah, I think definitely a big part of it was staying smooth and focused, and we had a lot of laps out there, and there's a ton of just flowy sections, turns, places that you got to stay on the gas, hit those corners right, and not slide out. So we definitely had a full effort out there, and I'm happy I was out on Scotts Park.
Yeah, now let's talk about that huge double there after the log drop. We saw Haley Batten hitting that every lap. Take us through kind of your risk assessment as far as race day goes and not getting too crazy on that thing.
Yeah, I think it's awesome that Haley was riding it. Definitely a little inspo for me to step up my jumping game. I definitely have done that this year, and I think it's something that I'm comfortable riding, but at a race like this and so early in the season, I just decided that it wasn't something I wanted to be stressed about all race. I think I'm really focused this time of year on assessing where I'm at, really focusing on my personal best effort and assessing where I can improve. And of course, if that was on a World Cup course, we got to hit it every time. But today, I think there was a little bit of a safer kind of rolling manual into it option that kept me just totally calm and didn't risk anything in the wind.
Sure, and a constant good, a good sense for risk assessment. I'm sure one of the things that has made you successful in racing, being that this is so early in the season, that was probably the smart move. So nice job.
Well, I mean, if you do it, you do it. So it's just, I think for everyone it's different and what you're comfortable with. And I think at the end of the day, it's also a huge mindset thing. So if it's something that's going to make you psyched every lap, then, you know, go for it. If it's something that's going to make you nervous or like be assessing the wind, which I think is the case for me at this race, then it was much better to just keep the hammer down and focus on other parts of the course.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, Courtney, great job out there. We're looking forward to seeing you crush it on the World Cup season here coming our way this summer. Good luck, and I think we're going to talk to our number 2 rider over here, Gwendolyn Gibson. Come on down.
We're just coaxing you over here. Good job.
Thank you. You too.
Gwen Gibson, how we doing?
Pretty good.
Feeling good, feeling strong. Nice work out there. Now, as the race kind of progressed about the second half, you're just kind of out there solo in second place. Take us through, for the spectators, what it's like when you're kind of out there by yourself all alone versus when you have a competitor.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I think it's you move a bit faster when you're riding with someone, especially on a course like this because there was a massive headwind. And so, you know, when we were riding together, we could kind of share the wind. And then at a certain point, I think the three of us, the top 3, were all kind of on our own taking the wind. And so it changes the dynamics a bit, like if there was a group versus like chasing versus just all of us sort of spaced out. It could have changed like things, but it was just a hard race, full gas the whole time.
Yeah, now what did you think? So, like as we talked with Kate Courtney, there's a lot of spots where you can see your competition on different parts of the course. And as you're watching Haley Batten kind of ride away, what are you thinking as she's just laying down that insurmountable pace?
Yeah, I mean, I think all you can really do is stay on the pedals and hope that you can close it. And then also, I try not to look over my shoulder, but I mean, it's hard not to when you know you have like Kate chasing you from the back too, strong competitors. So you're thinking of, you know, trying to close the gap to the next person and trying to keep the gap to the person behind you.
Yeah, and I just found when I'm racing solo like that, I just always assume that I've got a rider 10 seconds behind me and they're closing that gap. So it's ride as fast as possible, ride like you're being chased by a bear.
Exactly, which is kind of how it felt like today.
Right on. Now, let's talk about 2 different things here. I want to know what you found most challenging on this course and what you found most fun.
I'll start with what I found the most fun, which was the new single track after the last climb. Because, I mean, I've raced here lots of times. I think that's a brand new single track to the venue. And that was just super fun. I mean, you could go really fast down it. It was nice. We got some rain, so you could really take the corners hard. And then, you know, the climbs were super challenging. And then, you know, we had that big jump. I never really worked up the confidence to do it. But one year we're going to come back, and I'm going to hit it. So that would be the most challenging, I think, for me.
That's awesome. Well, Gwendolyn Gibson, thanks so much for sitting down with us. We are getting ready for the Elite Men's Race. Who's your favorite to win?
Well, I'll cheer for my teammate, Riley Amos.
And he is looking strong. We saw him race hard on Friday. We saw him race strong at the Cactus Cup just a few weeks ago. So I'm sure Riley Amos is going to be right up there. Thank you so much, Gwendolyn Gibson. All right, we are going to get back to the action, get ready for our Elite Men's Race.
Thank you.